What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with episode number 3 of the F1 2016 Career Mode Championship. This is in the manor, and this is the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, after reviewing the comments of the first 2 episodes and also going ahead and doing this race myself, I've decided to change the difficulty to the ultimate difficulty, simply because I found that we've been making progress just a little bit too quickly, and also the gap to my teammate has just been just a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do, make it ultimate difficulty, make it more realistic. We're not going to be scoring in the points as much, and just overall things are going to be much harder for us as well. And I feel like if it's much harder, then my teammate's going to be closer to me, and it's going to be much more of a rivalry. So I'd like to spark a bit of a rivalry with my teammate, work with him, and be on a really level pegging with Pascal Wehrlein over the course of the season. So here we are for the Chinese Grand Prix. Just bear in mind, this episode is still filmed on Legend difficulty, which is a really hard difficulty in itself. This was the hardest difficulty from F1 2015. So the AI in this current state are no slouches on their own, but yeah, we still have to drive the absolute wheels off the car in order to to be anywhere near competitive in a car like this. But either way, once again, the focus is on Friday practice, trying to get those R&D points to upgrade the car and make it as quick as we can in the shortest time possible, so that we can really get in the game as quickly as possible. So as usual, I'm just running through all the programs of the Friday practice. So we did track acclimatization. This time I'm doing tire management, but I'm doing them on the medium tires. China's a high tire wear circuit, so I thought it might be worthwhile just testing out the hardest compound tire and see just how they feel, how they react over a 7-lap stint, and just see if it's the kind of tire that I want to take into the race with me. But you can see so far we've been all in the green and the purple, so the tire wear so far in this practice session by myself has been pretty good. And as you can see there, that was Ricardo going up my inside into the hairpin. When you're a slow car like this in the manor, and when you're doing these practice programs, it's very easy for other AI cars to come along out of nowhere and kind of interrupt your flow, interrupt your rhythm. And I've got to stick to a delta time, and it was actually quite hard to stick to that when other cars were passing me here and there. But at the end of that session, we were 22nd place. Bear in mind, I was only running on, a race load of fuel and also medium tires, so I was pretty much sandbagging in that session. Heading into practice 2 now, we're going to try qualifying pace, and this is going to give us more of a true indication as to where we're going to stand for this Chinese Grand Prix this weekend. And this is the end of the lap so far. We are green by about 3 or 4 tenths on the target time set by the team. So if you exceed the expectations of the team on the qualifying pace lap, then you'll get a purple score and 50 points to add to your resource points, and we just managed to do that going P4. But just bear in mind, this is at the start of the session, and no competitive lap times were set down at that time. So absolutely perfect in the way of track acclimatization, time management, qualifying pace, and we managed to smash all the team objectives set over the course of the practice session. So that's going to be a perfect score for us, and we end up in 14th place at the end of that practice session. So look out in qualifying for us to be around about that kind of track position. Hopefully that'll be a really good result, 14th place in qualifying. We now have 438 resource points. That's quite a few points now, so I've got to think about where I'm going to spend those. A lot of you guys said use it on the fuel. I'm kind of leaning towards that, but I'm going to wait and see one more race and kind of make up my mind from there. It's time for qualifying.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China.
After the success we had in Bahrain, I thought it was a good idea to stick with the engineer setup once again, so that's what I'm going to do for this qualifying session once again. So here we are in China. I'm not expecting any fireworks in this one. Like I said, this is one of my weaker tracks on the F1 calendar, so we'll have to see how we go. This is our very first lap in qualifying. It seems like in a lot of the sessions over the course of this season so far, they've all been really overcast, really borderline threatening on rain, but then it never really happens. We set the gauntlet there with a 138.8, I believe it was, and then coming around for our second lap on this set of tyres, we improve by a few tenths there and go 38.1. So pretty happy with that. We move on to the final part of qualifying now. And yeah, this is 3 laps of fuel and fresh tyres. We are starting the lap now. I should let you guys know that this is the most perfect lap I have ever done around this Chinese Grand Prix circuit. So I think this lap deserves to be shown in all of its full lap glory. So I'm going to take you guys through this lap and just show you my best ever lap at China. And it's in the manor, so fancy that. We're a few tenths up in the first sector already. We're just, we took a really nice line through the first corner. I always find turn 1 to be really, really awkward for myself. So when I can feel like I've flowed the car well through the first sector, that's when I know I'm really, really happy with that lap. But either way, through the middle sector now, 4th gear, try and hold the highest gear possible you can get through a corner. That's the best way to carry momentum and carry speed on F1 2016. But at the moment, we're about a 10th up on our previous lap, which was really good, by the way. So this lap is going to be absolutely phenomenal coming through the snail section that leads onto the massively long straight here. We put on the power as quickly as we can, and we just catch the slide. Every time it just starts to break into a little bit of a slide there, but we do manage to catch it. Open the DRS, and we're going to use this Mercedes power to good effect on these straights. It's really awesome. Now coming into the hairpin, braking as late as you dare, into first gear, hit the apex well, get on the power as early as you can, modulate the throttle. It is really easy to spin up the rear tyres on this year's F1 game. Final corner, 4th gear, try not to get caught up on the curb too much, open the DRS, up to the line, it's a 37.740, and it puts us in 9th place on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. Like I said, my best lap ever around China, and it was in the manor. It gets us inside the top 10. Say what you want about the difficulty level of the AI and all that, but that was my absolute best lap around China. There's no improvement to find on that lap time. So I am just absolutely ecstatic to qualify inside the top 10. I feel like if I was on ultimate difficulty, I would still be around like 13th, 14th, or 15th, something like that. Because the AI's pace only improved by 1 second when you move to ultimate difficulty. But there we go, our best qualifying position, and it's come at my worst track. I just could not be happier at this stage of this career mode championship. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Oh, wow. Expectation already from the team in this manner. After scoring points in the second race, they are already placing firm expectations upon my shoulders. Having qualified in 10th place, so I don't blame them, to be honest. Race strategy, it looks like it's a, what's that, 3-stop? Going from the super softs. Unfortunately, we qualified inside the top 10, so we have to start on the super softs. So it makes the strategy just that little bit awkward, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Let's go to the race and start this formation lap.
Clutch bite is good, gearbox is responding normally. Make sure to warm up the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap.
Here we go, guys. Starting the Chinese Grand Prix. On paper, my worst track on the entire F1 calendar. We've got our best grid position so far. Let's not waste this before we switch it up to ultimate difficulty. I don't know where we're going to finish. We just might be nowhere in the race. That's why we need to make the most of this race start. Just absolutely smash past these guys if we can. Try and react as quickly as we can as soon as these 5 red lights go out, and away we go for this Chinese Grand Prix. Once again, the launcher in first gear is always amazing so far on this game. Heading into turn 1, we might overtake a couple cars up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen. In front of him is Verstappen as well. Can we pass him and get ourselves inside the top 5? We're going to have to hang it round the outside through the Snell section, and I think Verstappen might just have it on us in terms of traction. Lost the back end like crazy on the exit of that corner, so we'll see what we can do up against Verstappen. Are we going to go up the inside? Yes, we do. Into turn 5. Job done. P5. Very nice start so far. Next up is Ricciardo and the other race leaders. I honestly don't think we're going to be able to do anything against those guys, and we lock up into the hairpin there. Gives up a place to Verstappen. Kimi Räikkönen ran wide through the the hairpin section there. He was going side by side with a Toro Rosso, and we'll see on the replay what's going on with him here. He just completely goes in deep. He must have locked up and then he's just gone straight on. It's really weird there. He almost hit myself and Max Verstappen there. That was crazy stuff there from Kimi Räikkönen. Like I said, the AI seemed to be making mistakes in the early part of some of these career mode races. But either way, lap 2 now, you can see we're under pressure from Daniel Kvyat. He goes up the inside. He's locked the outside front, and he makes the move stick. Or does he? We hang it right around the outside. Better traction, and we might just about hold on to P6 for now. It's turning into a really electrifying start so far. The racing between the AI in this race so far has been incredible. On the move is Massa now. That's not Massa. Come on, that's not Massa. Bottas. He goes for a dive up the inside. He runs wide through turn 1. We get him back on the counter attack, and there we go. We move up into P3. A lot of the leaders now have made their stops at the end of lap 3. Very early to get rid of their super soft tyre. I'm guessing they don't like the super soft. They want to get on the soft and the medium tyre compounds as quickly as possible. And as you can see now, we're just getting absolutely rounded up here by everyone. Bottas and then Kvyat making a move on myself just on that one straight alone there. So they pull into the pits there. It kind of disrupts my flow through the final corner. Completely missed the apex. Ran wide. It's a bad exit, and now here goes Perez. He overtakes me, and he takes the lead of the Grand Prix as, yeah, everyone just continues to get off this set of super soft tyres and get onto the softs. It seems like, yeah, nobody really wants to stay on them for a very long period of time. The tyre wear, like I said, at China is absolutely monumental, so I think we'll be coming into the pits by the end of this lap. I'm really starting to struggle now, so you should see us pitting in for soft tyres. I want to give those a go first before I try out the mediums. Either way, there goes Carlos Sainz up the inside into the hairpin section, and I don't think we'll have a response for him simply because we're coming into the pits at the end of this lap. But once again, in first gear, we really seem to launch off of the hairpin, but this is awkward. Sainz is on my outside. He's not pitting, but we managed to negotiate around him, pull into the pit lane without making a massive crash, massive lock up into the way into the pit lane. But it doesn't really matter if you lock up massively because you're going to take off the tyres anyway and put new ones on. So into the pits now. We're going to get jumped by a lot of cars here. I imagine that the undercut is quite strong around here in China, but we will have fresh tyres. So hopefully in this stint we can really make the soft compound tyre work for us as we rejoin. It's P17. Wow, P17. We were like 6th place or something like that around before the pit stops, and now we are 16th. It's absolutely mental what a few laps will do in Formula 1. But either way, around the outside of Perez there, he elected to stay out very long on his super soft tyres, and we jump him as well. So you'll see a lot of the midfield runners now starting to make their stops, their first stop of the race, because they started on either the medium tyres or they started on the soft compound tyres. So a lot of different strategies at play with the AI. You'll notice this is a common theme with F1 2016, just so many different strategies all over the place. It makes for a really good race. Lap 9 now, you can see we're in the slipstream and DRS of Carlos Sainz, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a look into this hairpin corner. We just make enough inroads, and there we go, just up the inside there. A bit of contact was made with Carlos, but I think that was borderline clean pass, as you can see on the replay there. We kind of squeezed him out. He wanted to hang it around the outside. I got to say credit to Carlos there and the AI actually trying to hold it around the outside there, but it wasn't to his avail. Carlos in the wars again, making contact with Jenson Button, and now there's a yellow flag behind us. Jenson Button is out of the race. He was directly behind me. I don't know what's going on. It was just on a straight, so we'll have a look on the replay, see what's going on with Jenson Button. I can see some smoke. So maybe that's the telltale sign as to what's happened with this McLaren Honda of Jenson Button. He pulls over to the side. He's got an engine failure. Jenson Button is out of the Chinese Grand Prix in a massive puff of smoke. And surely that's got to bring out the safety car or something like that. Just pulling off just off to the edge of the racetrack, and there we go. Safety car has been deployed on lap 11 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Now, we've got to think about the race strategy now. Our tyres are 38% in terms of wear, so we're getting towards the end of their, working life. So we're going to come in and possibly put on another set of soft compound tyres and see where we go from here now. This has kind of played into our favour a little bit. I was only, I want to say 2 or 3 laps away from pitting anyway, so I feel like this has worked into my favour quite well now. So we'll put on the soft compound tyres, see what we can do. We're going to be down the order a little bit, but a lot of guys around us will still need to make another 2 stops. And yeah, I'm quite interested to see which way this will go. We got an achievement just before, but we rejoin in heavy traffic in between Jolyon Palmer and our teammate Pascal Wehrlein. Achievements all over the place as we make contact with Palmer there. But yeah, we've settled into the race in 13th place. Fresh tyres. We can only move forward from here. Speaking of moving forward, you can see someone made a pit stop there under safety car. Very late in the safety car period, which doesn't really make sense to me. So we move up to position 12. But now we are getting ready to restart this race once again. 14 laps to the flag now, and we've still got to make one more stop. It's debatable as to whether we're going to go on the medium tyres or the super soft tyres, but either way, we're on the move here. Jolyon Palmer is getting rounded up here around the outside through turn 1, squeeze him out, and then swoop around the outside through turn 1. Very effective move there. A lot of these guys around us, like I said, are going to have older tyres than us, so it's going to be fairly easy pickings, especially when these guys are battling very hard. Kvyat and Verstappen kind of going side by side through the final corner, and then it's Ricciardo and someone else going side by side into turn 1. It's Bottas. So this is like how I'm able to make up so much time, so many positions, and just kind of make the most of the AI squabbling, because they do seem to battle quite a lot here on F1 2016, so we're able to get that track position, and we're able to really capitalize on that because the AI managed to battle so much. So I'm all for the AI battling. It just means more opportunities for myself, and we're in position 8 at the moment. So it's looking very good at the moment as more cars start to make their pit stops, including my teammate Pascal Wehrlein. Verstappen is up next, my arch rival from earlier on in this race. We seem to be battling each other quite a lot so far in this Grand Prix, trying to hang around the outside. Even on fresher tyres, we can't outrace a Red Bull. We just can't. It's impossible. I think that's Bottas and Ricciardo going side by side into the pit lane there, so I'd like to get a replay of that and see what was going on, and see whether they actually made it through here cleanly. Bottas actually makes the move into the pit lane, and he gains a position on Daniel Ricciardo, who would be absolutely filthy, by the way, that he let a Williams overtake him into the pit lane. He had no other choice but to let him through. Otherwise, he probably would have ended up in the gravel trap there, a la Lewis Hamilton from 2007, I think it was. And I always do a Lewis Hamilton myself there, so just absolutely everyone bottling it into the pit lane there. But either way, lap 20 now, we're coming in for our final stop of this race. Given that there's only 7 laps to go in this race, I opted to go a little bit aggressive, and we're going to go on these super soft tyres and just try and cover up our lack of pace with the super soft tyres and see where we end up. We're going to rejoin possibly inside the top 10, which would be absolutely awesome. So we need this set of tyres to really help us secure ourselves another points finish in this championship season. So let's see what we can do up the inside of Gutierrez there. All these guys seem to be on medium tyres, or Gutierrez on the super softs though, so this should be very, very interesting. These guys are on older tyres as well, so I'm really keen to get stuck into this. You can see just a huge cluster of cars here, all within a very short space of each other. And this is just what happens when there's like 3 different tyre compounds, so many different strategies, just lots of different elements of the race at play here, and it just makes the racing just that much more enjoyable. So either way, we're on the attack now. Ricciardo doesn't really have an answer for us with DRS and Slipstream. We pass him very easily. Like I said, it's very nice to have a car that's good in a straight line. It makes overtakes in the race just that much easier, and it just like, yeah, it allows us to get track position and kind of hold on to that when we want to. As you can see, we're in lean revs at the moment. And from this point onwards, I recognized that my best laps were behind me and that my pace was already starting to drop off with only 5 laps to go now, 3 laps to go now. What I decided to do was tag onto the back of Daniel Ricciardo like I did to Vettel in Bahrain, stay in the slipstream, save fuel, and just let him drag me along in this race and try and keep me away from the cars behind us but unfortunately that didn't last too long. Ricciardo got away, and now it's the final lap. My tyres are absolutely shot now, by the way. Raikkonen has come out of nowhere and is on the attack. We've lost 4 seconds to Ricciardo in just, what, 2 or 3 laps, so that's how drastic the tyre wear is at the moment. Almost 70% in terms of the tyre wear. Normally on F1 2016, you don't want your tyres to get above 50 or 60%. But now it's the final lap. You can see Nico Rosberg has won this race. Raikkonen passed us in the previous corner, so we need to get him back here. Just 2 corners left to go in this race. My tyres are absolutely shot, but I'm going to give it a go to try and get back in front of Kimi Raikkonen and secure an extra 2 points for this Manor Racing team. We need these points. But I think Raikkonen is just going to steal it at the death here. DRS and Slipstream up to the line. We can't get him. It's position 8. 4 points.
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Damn it. Good race in the end, though. I'll take it.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I'm going to say Carlos Sainz. It was probably one of his best drives this season, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Wow, Carlos Sainz actually finished in 4th place for that Chinese Grand Prix. Ignore the fact that Amanda finished 8th. It was Carlos Sainz, definitely driver of the day. 4th place, incredible result. On the opposite scale of things, Lewis Hamilton ended up in 10th place and had 12 seconds worth of penalty. So I don't know what that was for. Possibly ignoring yellow flags. I see the AI do get pinged for that a little bit. But there we go. That's been the Chinese Grand Prix in the end. Another really well-run race by ourselves. The safety car period obviously helped with the timing of that. And we tried to make the most of the AI battling. And I feel like we did that. We got in front of like guys at crucial moments and we pushed at the right times. And we managed to hold on fairly well to score inside the point. So, like I said, I've been driving the absolute wheels off this car, and it's resulted in 2 points finishes now. But after this race, we're going to be switching to ultimate difficulty, and I think that the points now are going to completely dry up for the rest of this season. I feel like it's going to be an absolute struggle to score points. But in the driver rivalry between my teammate and myself, it looks like we've won that 30 out of 30 points. And yeah, that's exactly what you want to start off this career mode. And there we go. That has been the Chinese Grand Prix for episode number 3 of this F1 2016 Career Mode Championship. Leave a like if you enjoyed this episode, guys. It would really help me out if you could leave a like on this video. If you like my content and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see plenty more F1 2016 content. And I have 654 resource points to spend to upgrade this car. So let me know down in the comments what upgrades you want to see in the not too distant future. I got a lot of suggestions for a fuel efficiency update, so I might do that in the next episode, but I want to make the car as quick as I can. I can kind of deal with a lack of fuel. I can just put more fuel in the car for the race like I did today, and I didn't struggle too much. So we'll see what happens. Heading into Spain and Monaco, I want to have as much downforce as possible on the car, so we'll see what happens with that. Ultimate difficulty is coming for the next episode, and it's really going to shake up this career mode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until my next video, I'll see you next time.